Hello and welcome to episode 9. So it's about half an hour since I finished last episode. I want to try and get this video series done before the end of the week. So I've been thinking and I'm turning this on because I'm constantly having to press F3 to see which direction I'm going in. And get to the point where I really could do with being able to keep a closer eye on where we're heading. So yeah, made the decision that I'm going to turn that on because there is no good reason not to have it. So it would help if I had that to hand. With this thing I do need to check resource packs. Okay, so it's not compatible, so I need to bring that over beforehand. So though it's a different version, it should still work. Basically what that resource pack will do is if I have a pumpkin on, it won't give me the pumpkin blare while wearing it, so it'll be very useful when we get to the end. So that's the thing I probably would do, because it's sort of, because it's a different version, it's it can be slow to load, and sometimes it will crash the game when you're loading it, so I'll do that outside of gameplay. So if we do make it to an end portal, I probably will then we might just pause at that point before continuing. So yes, so I just thought about it, I thought I'd better check. So hopefully next door's dogs will now be quiet. Just been home, put some washing up to dry, put another load on. And I will be honest, he was barking a bit and I may have sworn and told him to shut the frick up. Because I know he's a dog and it's not his fault, but it does get annoying. Listening to bark all the time, especially when you try to do this. If he starts barking again, it becomes a nuisance, then we'll have to pause gameplay. Ooh, there's a map. Let's have a look. And we'll move into a different room. Sunlight's on top. Okay, haven't heard them before. Goodbye. Right. Oh, they've got quite a few. So, I'm guessing these are a new group. No idea. Sorry, don't know who they are. But yeah, nice bit of map art there. So, while I was hanging my washing out, bedding needed changing. Just the exciting things I have to do. I was thinking about what to talk about next. So here in the UK, it's mid-exam season, and I suspect it's pretty much the case in most countries. From what I understand, the school years run pretty much similar, September to June, July. Some countries have... Well, we are getting close, aren't we? So just going to have to accept the fact we're going to see these more often and just cross our fingers and hope for the best. If we run into one, we'll get back to spawn a bit quicker. So yeah, so exam season, and regardless whether it's school exam, so in UK in school, you have your end of the year exams regardless of your age, but then you've got two main exam types. You got your GCSEs, which you sit at 16, and then you have your A levels, which you sit at 18. Now, in the UK, you're required to stay in education, full-time education, whether homeschooling or school or college, until you're 16. So pretty much everybody will sit the GCSEs. Not 100% everybody, but pretty much everybody will sit GCSEs. Once you're 16, if you don't want to continue with education, you can leave. You are not forced to stay in school until you're 18. So some will stay in school to do the A-levels, some will either stay in school or go to college, technical college, to do NVQs, which it's been a while, because I remember when these first came out, I think it's National Vocational Qualifications, basically it's trade skills. So you might do business studies, catering, plumbing, electricians. All these things are done as MVQs. Some will go on to be maybe do apprenticeships. So, like I say, you aren't required to stay till 18. Some will leave at 16 and go and work. They will get, might work somewhere in retail or with a builder and learn things while in work, sort of thing. So, mid exam season. So this is something I was thinking about, and I remember how it was. GCSEs and A levels, and fair play to my parents. They didn't put a huge amount of pressure on, like you had to do this well. They wanted us to do as best as we could, but if we didn't pass, well, it wasn't the end of the world. They understood that education isn't for everyone. I stayed on to do my A levels and then went off to university. My sister, she, after doing, finished with school, she went on to teacher training. But one of my brothers, he went on to technical college to do mechanics and do MBQs. We all did different things. We all chose the path we wanted to take, and I think we're where we wanted to be. Yep, diagonal path. But hey, we've made it. The other thing, my parents insisted on was we weren't going to sit around doing nothing. If you wanted to stay on school, that's fine. They encouraged us and supported us. If we wanted to leave school and go to tech, that was fine as well. Encouraged us, supported us. And if we wanted to do none of the things, then we had to get a job. It was a case of those were our options. And you know what? I love my parents for that, because it taught us good ethics, that if we want something, we have to go and get it. So I've gone off on a bit of a tangent here. So what the whole gist of this is, if you're doing like whatever country you're in and the equivalent is of GCSEs, and you don't want to carry on until you're 18, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go and do something different, do like maybe wherever, a technical college or wherever the equivalent is, that's fine. If you want to get a job instead, that's also fine. I am in my mid-40s, and to this day, I still don't know what I want to do with my life. I have never really had a, yes, this is the career path I want to follow. This is the sort of job I want. There was a few things I was vaguely interested in, but unlike a lot of people I was in school with, at no point was I, yes, this is my career path. I was sort of encouraged maybe to look into teacher training. I had no interest in doing that whatsoever. Do they really? It wasn't my cup of tea. This wasn't here last time. Okay, he's there. He's right there. Okay, we are not going this way. We're backing right back out again. Okay, so we're not coming through this tunnel. So yes, not knowing what you want to do is fine. There's nothing wrong with... I love this server. Bit of a abandon there. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with not having a plan for your future. And this is one of the problems I have with sort of pushing young people into education and continue at this point. Especially if you're having to take out loans to pay for your education. You're going to get in all this debt. You spend all these years studying for a subject, and it turns out to be not what you want. So there's there's nothing wrong with, a case of being older and continue education. If you think, I'm not sure that this is the thing for me, so I'm gonna just work for a bit. Go to get a job, whether it's in a supermarket or as a waitress or as an apprentice somewhere, and I have a feeling we're going to die very soon. We're sinking. I hope that's... Oh god, yeah, we are screwed. We are not going to survive this, are we? Right, let's get my boat and let's see if we can make it up to the surface and head this way. Maybe heading for the diagonal wasn't my best decision. Well, today's going well. That's funny. Oh, let's see if we can get underneath this and not drown. Alright. Because this is our best hope of getting out of here. If we can get through here without drowning. Oh. My apologies for my swearing just then. Now, I know I came through this before, and I'm pretty sure there wasn't a ton of withers, so somebody's been along and spawned them since. Oh, dearie me. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I'm trying to get through this because of the obsidian above us as well. Oh, we are having fun, aren't we? Oh, yes. Alright, let's go back down. Let's keep going. Let's just keep going this way. And heading in the right direction. Oh, so yes. So, what I was trying to say is, not being sure about what you want to do is fine. Ooh, dragon egg. I already got a few of them. You know, and I know everybody's different. You know, and everybody's family life is different. You may be... What the hell is going on there? You know, being forced into continuing with education. You know, I don't know your personal circumstances. You know, you've got to do what's best for you. But if you're in a situation where you can, you know, make that decision for yourself, and you don't feel ready to carry on, you know, in education, you know, either go into college or something, then don't. You can always come back to it at a later date. You know, it's a case of there's nothing that says that you have to do this at a particular age. Now, I'm not saying education isn't important. You know, you do need to finish your education, at least get up to a certain point. Right, let's see if we can get onto this Odsvidian path. There we go. And we're inside the water cube. That's not ideal, but if we can get through here. There we go. And so I think, yeah, we're back on. So we've managed to bypass all that. Well, that was fun. So yeah, there is no rule that says you have to do things at a certain age. And taking a step back and maybe taking a bit of time to think about it and try and figure out what you actually want to do, that's fine. You know, and if you do decide that, yes, I'm going to go and, you know, go to college or do X, Y, and Z, and then one day, you know, down the line, you think, actually, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done that. That's not a problem. You know, you can always go back again and learn something different. You know, change your career path. Once you're on the path, doesn't mean to say you have to always stay on that path. You know, when I look back, I regret some of the decisions I made. I was very good at science and maths, and I enjoyed them to a certain degree. But the areas I was most interested in, the subjects I most wanted to excel at, were things I wasn't good at, you know, or was okay at. So, you know, I would have loved to have been good at art, and I wasn't. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, unless you were good at it in my school, and that the teachers didn't really bother with you. You know, it was I remember having art lessons and stuff, but I don't really remember being taught anything much by them. You know, I can remember them spending time with ones who were good at it, and, you know, and giving them tips and useful skills and stuff, but I can't remember them giving the same for the rest of us who weren't as good. You know, unfortunately, shitty teachers are haven't changed much. I'm sure some of you have the same issue where you've got a teacher who only really interested in the really good ones. It's one of those things where if you are mid-range in your class, you're pretty much the ones who are going to get ignored. Because teachers are going to focus either on the very good or the very poor. And if you're in the middle, you just get ignored. And unfortunately, for a lot of subjects, that's where I fell. It wasn't particularly brilliant. I could have probably done better if I pushed myself in the maths and science. But for a lot of the other stuff, I was sort of mid-range, so of course didn't get the extra support that they were offering to the ones who were doing poorly, because it looks good for them if they have as many pupils as possible hitting at least a pass grade, even if it's not like the top grade. And the ones who were at the higher end, so it's like the A or just below A level or A grade, pushing those who were maybe just below and getting them up to the A grade, so having more hitting that higher mark. It was, they were the ones who were going to focus on, and the ones who were hitting those marks. So if you were like a C grade, you were ignored, pretty much. And unfortunately, that's where I often fell. I would have loved to have been really good at music. In fact, nature did me one on when it came to that, because my maternal grandfather, I never met him. He died not long after I was born. My mother would tell me about him, how he would hear a piece of music and then he would sit down and be able to play it. He could understood and could memorize the notes and recreate them. He couldn't read music. He never learned, but he had the ear for his pitch perfect ear. And other members of the family, nieces and nephews, while not had that sort of skill, have inherited some of his abilities when it came to music. And the one member of the family who would have loved to have had that skill and would have pursued it was me. Same with drawing and that. I love art, but I am average at best. And the same with music. I am average at best. It was a case of the things I haven't got to pick on me, otherwise I would break the portal trap on that, but never mind. 'Tis the nature of the server to be portal trapped. So having a passion and interest in something is fine. So looking back, maybe I think maybe I should have focused more on the things I was good at rather than the things that interest me. But at the same time, I don't regret it, because if I'd gone and focused more on the sciences and worked harder at the maths, so I did A level at maths, which is the higher level. I think I came out with a B or a C, but I could have done better. I just didn't really apply myself that hard at the end, because I realised, there goes the dogs again, that I was wanting to study history and archaeology at university. That's where I wanted, where my interest was going. So, part of me thinking, well, maybe I should have stuck with the maths and the science. But then I probably would have gone down a path that I wouldn't have enjoyed. I enjoyed university a lot. And I think I was doing a harder degree. Because, I'll be honest, doing a science degree or a maths degree would have been a lot harder than doing history and archaeology. I'm not saying my degree was easy, but I think they would have been a harder degree for me personally to do. So this is what I'm getting at. You'll make decisions, and you'll make decisions based on what you think is the right decision at the time. Let me just check something. We have gone a little bit too far to the south, so we do need to turn west now, because we are heading for an end portal. So and that's fine. It's a case of, don't beat yourself up about decisions you make when you're young and think, oh, I've ruined my life by doing that, then I should have done something different. Have I mentioned how much I love this server? Why am I not getting into that boat? House! What is wrong with your... Okay, that's just weird. I can't get into that boat. Okay, I guess we're going on foot. Let's try it again. No, just not getting into the boat. Okay, that's just weird. And you know what? I have no idea what time it was when we started recording. I think it was something like 1:45, possibly 10 to, so we've probably been going 15 to 20 minutes. Sorry. Why are you surprised by this? Right, so we're not a million miles away from an end portal, so we went too far to the north. We need to go a bit more south. Alright. And we're going to go a bit more west. Okay, so I'm hoping this end portal is still there, and I'm hoping it hasn't got a load of withers sitting around it. So when we get there, regardless of how long we've been playing, we are ending this episode at the portal. We're not going to go get down. Well, we might get down to the portal, depending on withers. But we're not going to go through the portal because I need to turn on the pumpkin blare. So we'll save that for the next episode. So hopefully we aren't too far away. And here they go again. So yes. So the general gist of this ramble, which has been slightly incoherent, is don't beat yourself up too much about decisions you make at the moment, because there's nothing to stop you from making new decisions in the future. A lot of people will set themselves on a career path and then change their mind later on. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see if we can get in the boat. There we go, finally got in the boat. I don't know why it wouldn't let us in before. That was just plain weird. And now we're probably at a point where we can't go. Ooh, big problem. Big boy. So yeah, so it's not the end of the world if 10 years from now you decide you want to change paths, change directions, or if you want to wait a year or two before pursuing further education, and work for a bit, maybe try and save up as much money as possible so you don't have to take out ridiculous loans and put yourself in huge amounts of debt for the rest of your life. You've got to do what's best for you, because you're the one living this life. And I know your parents and your guardians will want what they think is best for you, and that's good. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's living this life. So it's got to be your decision. So that was the general gist of it. And if you fail these exams, you go and do your exams, and maybe you really want to get into college, or to study something, and you don't get your grades to get in, retake the exams if you can. I know I had to in the end on some of mine. I got quite low grades, especially on the on some of the A-level stuff, because it was modular, so we took exams every so often. And I went back and redid them, and the second time round it made a lot more sense. Sometimes you have to go over sync twice. I think I vaguely remember coming this way. For it to go in. Sometimes things just don't go in fully the first time round. Sometimes it does take a couple of goes. And that doesn't mean to say there's anything wrong with you. It's just sometimes that's how your mind works and how it learns. Some things I find I get very quickly, and it goes straight in. Shall we try? Hey, did it. Not gonna lie, I'm not very good at doing multiple glitches. 9 times out of 10 I'll hit the edge of another block and just take damage. So, hey, managed it. Proud. So yeah, I find some things that I'll get very quickly, and it just goes in and it just makes sense. And other things I have to come back and go over a few times before I figure it out. It's just, that's how your mind works. So yeah, you know, don't think, oh, I didn't get the marks I needed. You know, it's all doom and gloom. No. So what is it? Somebody said, fail. You know, first attempt in learning, or a fine attempt in learning, because quite often we'll learn more by failing than we do in succeeding the first time. And I'm going to be honest, there'll be time, you know, everybody at some point is going to fail at something they're doing. You know, you're not going to get it all right every time, first time. So learning how to deal with failing, how to, right, we're gone. Okay, we need to go north. We are at the point now for pretty much for the west. So yeah, it's a case of, if you don't get the marks you want, okay, then, you know, go back to it. Don't give up. You know, maybe go back to a later date. Maybe see if there's things that you can do that will help. You know, maybe additional tutoring, or sorry, it's slightly distracted because we are very, very close now. So I do vaguely remember it being this one being a bit chaotic. I think I did sort of, when I went looking for end portals, I did visit them all to confirm that they're there. Right, so to make my life easier, we are going to turn on search, because search will allow us to see the portal, because we are pretty much on top of it. We should only be a few blocks away. And there it is. And there's a wither. Excellent. Right, so the end portal's down there. So I knew we were close. So we've got to make our way down to that now, and hopefully survive the journey down. So luckily, we do have some tools. Oops. Right. Get my water bucket. That is a normal water bucket for me. Yep. Might be better if I place the water bucket down and ride the water stream down. I think that's going to be... especially as we don't know where Idiot is. And I forgot to pick up the water, didn't I? There we go. Right. Let's keep going downwards, but I think probably because we know there's a... Okay, so this was a stronghold. Okay. That's interesting. So we'll just keep going down gradually, but we may... I see. I don't... Right, so we're gonna log off in a second. I'm hearing him, but I'm not seeing him. So... So I want to keep making my way down carefully. But like I said, okay, so we're very close. So I think at this point we will end this recording. So we are nearly there. We're at the end portal. There's a wither nearby, but don't know exactly where he is. So we're going to end here, and next episode, hopefully we are heading in. Alright. And see you guys later.